All right, Betsy. Hi.
How's it going?
Good to see you. And finally, we made it after many attempts, just
I'm so
technicalities.
yes, I'm so happy we have made it. Where there's a will, there's a
Okay,
way.
exactly. That's exactly right. That's in my new book. I'm actually putting this right there. It's right there. you know. So I just take a minute just to explain what we're doing here. So
Okay.
it's the first time I'm doing this kind of stuff because usually I use my channels just to promote my work, basically. People who come to Huachuma, stay with us, share their experience with the medicine. So basically, that's what I'm doing usually. But recently, in one of the ceremonies, I just felt that I can expand it and allow other people who are not directly connected with us, at least yet, to share their story if their stories are good and inspiring to help people to discover plant medicine, healing, and stuff like that. So I just
And
saw you
help
on
the
my
world.
Instagram. Yeah, of course. That's the whole point is to heal the world. Is So it doesn't have to be directly connected to us. If I can use my platform for that, so be it. So I just saw you on the Instagram. I think you were following me or somehow, and I saw
Yeah.
this preservation of Amazon, and it's very dear to my heart. It's I started my shamanic path from the Amazon, so Amazon's very important lungs of the planet, you know, medical, it's the biggest pharmacy of the world. And, I thought, okay, let's connect and see if you have a story to share with people, and if it's transformative and, leads toward that, then we can talk about this and, you can share your story with my audience and, we just share it. So that's a little bit introduction. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for reaching out, first of all, and for giving me a platform to share my story with your audience because I am very passionate about protecting the Amazon, and I do have a story of how I got to that place, and it's we're in a really critical, urgent time where we have to protect the Amazon. We're like 2% away from this threshold that if we cross it, it's millions of people are going to die. It's going to, that's the first reason to want to protect the Amazon. And this, the second, like you said, is it's a pharmacy. It's the answer has the Amazon has answers to questions that we haven't even asked yet, as in humanity. There's there's so much there. There's so many undiscovered plant species, and all of our medicine comes from the Amazon. So there's that. But I guess I should
Yeah.
explain a little bit about my story, how I got
Sure. Go
to
ahead.
protect the Amazon, or I'm working towards protecting the Amazon. I was a modeling agent for over a decade here in Los Angeles. I worked at agencies like Wilhelmina and Storm, and my career was always, on the go since college. I hadn't probably never taken a vacation like over a week, unless it was for work, traveling. So I was just like fully in the matrix, like working like crazy, working in fashion, working for capitalistic companies who are pushing this agenda of beauty onto women. And it was just, it was fun in the beginning when I was young. It was a huge party and it was exciting. And then, as I got to my early 30s, I started to get really burnt out and really empty. And I kind of had these existential thoughts of like, what is the purpose of life? Like, why am I doing this? I'm exhausted. This is all I do. I feel like I have no life outside of this. And I was just like working my ass off and then coming home, drinking a bunch of wine, going out on the weekends. And it just really felt like life was empty and pointless. And so I had, I grew up very close to nature. I'm from Sedona, Arizona. My family
Mm.
homesteaded there like over 100 years ago. So I grew up in the forest, like playing with fairies and with the
Mm.
creek. And that just nature is very much my higher power. And that is, where I feel the most at home. And I was just very disconnected from it. And so I had this wild idea. I got it in my head that I needed to find a Taita or a shaman from Colombia. And I needed to meet them and do plant medicine with them. This was 2019. I had dabbled with plant medicine once before, like a year and a half before, with a friend, with the shaman named William from Peru. But I just got this download that it had to be Colombia, and that's the work that I had to do. So a friend of mine was in Tulum, and I texted him. I said, "Are there any taitas from Colombia there?" Like half joking, and he said, "I'm sitting right next to one. I just sat with one this weekend. His name is Cesar." And so he put me right in touch with Cesar that day. And then for the next month and a half, 2 months, I talked every day with him and then a translator, and planned for him to come to Los Angeles and plan these like life-changing ceremonies. And I put a lot of intention into it, and did a dieta and really, really took it seriously. And he came in February, I think it was like February 24th, 2020. And we had these intimate 2-night ceremonies where he brought Yahe from the Colombian jungle. And he had never been to Los Angeles, but he had trained to be a taita from the time he was 6 years old. So he was from a very long and respected lineage in the Putumayo jungle. And I did this really, really deep, life-changing work. It was completely life-changing. I felt like I was able to, release so much, not only for myself, but for my ancestral lineage. And it was like this lightness I hadn't felt like ever. And I was so grateful to him. And a week after that, we went into lockdown with COVID. So he stayed in the States. And he's still here, but that's another story. The bigger story is after I started working with him and doing this medicine, I really just, I had this knowing that there is something that I could help with. And I felt so grateful to him that I started asking questions, like, do you guys need help in Colombia? What's going on over there? And then, I kind of kept prodding and pushing and being like, how can I help? I just felt like there was something that he needed help with. And so finally, he puts me in touch with his brother, Fernando, and our friend Roberto, who had spent time with him in the jungle. And next thing I know, I'm on all these Zoom calls. I'm explaining this land transfer battle that they were fighting, and how the government was trying to irregularly grant 250,000 acres of pristine rainforest from the Putumayo, from the headwaters, to another group with ties to Canadian oil companies. And it was this, fervent, urgent, work to get this appeal into the government to stop it. But they needed money. They needed money for lawyers, for anthropologists, to prove their ancestral rights so they can go and map the territory and have that proof. And so next thing I know, I'm in it, like fully in it, Zoom call after Zoom call. I'm reading all the, Wade Davis's books on the jungle. I'm getting fully invested in this area, and help them raise the money to file the appeal, and which they did. And then they stopped. The appeal won, so the land transfer was stopped, and that's when I was like, okay, this isn't like so crazy. I have a relationship with my friends here who are indigenous in the Putumayo. How it can work is they just tell us what needs to be done. We raise the money, we bring the awareness, and we help them to do it. And I wasn't aware of how other nonprofits worked. I still am getting to know that, but this is what's been working for us. And so I started a nonprofit. It's a 501c3. It's called Two Worlds, One Planet. And what we do is we just partner directly with indigenous communities, and we listen, and we are very invested into the Putumayo and helping them with biodiversity and a biodiversity program that they've created for profit called Savimbo. But we help on the other side with providing trap cameras and the materials that they need so that they can make a living protecting the biodiversity of the jungle. So that's been a couple of years in the works. That's going on. We're supporting with, like I said, supplies, and also raising money so we can assist in more land buyback, so they can have more land to be part of this biodiversity program, which is a new frontier program. So there's that angle. And then I started meeting different groups down in Chirbaquete. My friend Chan, who runs Green Hope Fund, and he started telling me about the needs of, the indigenous down there in the schools and the illegal logging that they were seeing. And so I just listen, and they're telling me, what they need. And that's, another project on our agenda. And then I started meeting the people of the Kogi, and just started listening, and developed a relationship with them. And they told me about multiple sacred sites that they would like to buy back. And they put me on the board of directors on the board of one of their NGOs run by Kogi Mamas. So it's like, this is how we've infiltrated into helping them. And I've just kind of taken one step after the other, and here we are. But there's a lot of work to be done, and that's a very long-winded answer to how I got into this type of work. So
that's a wonderful story.
I'll bounce it back to you.
That's a wonderful story. My very first article that I ever wrote, that people can find on the Graham Hancock site. It's about Amazon. It's I think the title was Precious Metals versus Precious Life, something like that. I don't remember. That was like 10 years ago. And that's exactly what I speak about in this article. It's about, we have the same problem in Peru, and it's mining gold, silver, whatever they're mining in the jungle, oil, it's the same problem. And your title is very good, Two Worlds. It's like, I totally understand what you're talking about. It's like, it's what I'm doing, it's what I'm bridging, with all my work, So, one cannot understand really the importance of this until one experience the place and the medicine. And, my shamanic path began in the jungle. Then I moved to the mountains, working with the medicine of the mountains, but it started from ayahuasca in Iquitos in 2005. So we already were seeing that then, and I was introduced to the whole environment by my first teacher, Don Howard. And I also had that feeling how to support the good cause by protecting the jungle. For me, it's truly through the medicine. Of course, I understand it's our air. Amazon is the lungs of the planet. This is like number one, of course. Like no air, we all die. But I came through this not through some kind of eco consciousness. That's something that has grown through the work with the medicine. But to me, it was just pure medicine. So I thought that would be amazing to have some kind of organized way of pure intended people, not anything that kind of pretend to help but then have a different agenda, right. But people who actually really mean it, people who actually love the Amazon, love the medicine, and truly want to help, So that was just an idea like 15 years ago in my head, no more. The 15 years I already live here. That's like, we're talking 18 years ago, So you actually did something that I thought would be good to do very long time ago. So that's just amazing that you had the courage to put something together, because it takes courage, it's not, you're going against some big guys, these companies, lots of money, lots of lawyers, and these are evil companies. I mean, truly, the way they do it is evil. I don't necessarily disagree with the idea of mining. I mean, that's okay if that doesn't bother anyone, if it doesn't relocate people, if it doesn't poison the rivers, if it doesn't, destroy community, if it doesn't destroy the forest. Like, if it's in the desert, I don't care. Just do what you want, you know what I mean? But the way they do it is just pure evil. It's just they're destroying people's lives, and that's just not good. That's something that the moral person cannot support. Forget the medicine, just pure morality. Just like, hey, there are people living there. You know what I mean? So that's an amazing story, and I'm really happy that somebody actually doing that. And although Colombia is not my thing, we live in Peru, but it's still the same Amazon. It's still the same. It's the same thing. It's the same organism,
Yeah, it's like when I met the Kogi people. My friend Kenny Mako, he's like, Colombia doesn't exist. We are one planet. If
Exactly.
something on your foot is hurt, that means something in your back might be hurting
It's
because of this
exactly.
like injury on your foot. And so that's how he explains the planet. We're all connected. And so if the headwaters of the Putumayo get damaged by oil
Yeah.
companies,
It
that
affects everyone.
pollution affects the whole Amazon River. And right now
Exactly.
the Amazon, it's hurting right now. I've spoken to friends in Brazil. I'm friends with people in the Yawanawa tribes and the Hunikun, and the Amazon is so dry in Brazil right now, and they've had fires. It's the worst drought that they've been through, and they, it takes, they're asking for something like 60 grand to help get, bring water and the supplies needed to put out the fires, and nothing is organized to bring them this type of funding. But it's so puzzling because it's like there's so much money out there and so many promises that have been given. Oh, we're gonna do 200 million to biodiversity for indigenous people. Like they're talking about this at COP27 and the different conferences that are funded by oil lobbyists. But
Yeah,
where is that
exactly.
money and who is it going to? And this is urgent.
No.
This needs to happen now. And
It's
I
all
haven't.
PR nonsense. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
it's
They just want to
crazy,
look good.
but you know what, there is hope, because if we do organize and we work directly with indigenous communities, they know what to do. They know how to protect the forest, they know how to repopulate the forest, they know how to protect the biodiversity, they know how to track the jaguars. It's them who should be doing this, not outside
Of
groups coming in to
course.
trying to make money off of carbon,
Of
and that's been a lot
course.
of it. So
It's
the
all it's all
company,
it's all business for
it's
them.
yeah, for
You
sure.
know.
So my friends, Fernando, Cesar's brother, they formed this biodiversity company down in the jungle, and it's the only one right now that is owned by and run by indigenous people, and that's what they're doing. And
Mhm.
so
You
that's my
know,
main goal. It's helping them, supporting them with that at the moment. Even though, I have friends in Brazil and eventually would love to help as many tribes who I
of
meet and have
course.
relationships with, but there are other groups, Bow Foundation, Children of the Rainforest, which are my friends, who have NGOs, and they're really good nonprofits as well. They're helping
Well,
the Brazilians right now. So I'm focusing on Colombia.
I understand. I understand, of course. Of course. Um, you know, personally, what bothers me the most about this is not even mining. I mean, it's so bad, but what makes me really angry, like boils my blood, is the deforestation.
Yes,
It's
that
the
is,
worst thing. It's so stupid to cut. I mean, do you know that it's about like a football field a minute or something disappears of the jungle? It's insane numbers. It's like, just imagine a football, okay, how big that is? A minute, gone. They
yeah.
cut trees to put to grow soybeans or whatever, to feed cows in
Cattle,
America.
coffee. Yeah,
You know what I
basically
mean?
it's like China in Brazil. China owns the
Yeah.
rainforest and they're destroying it.
They're destroying
Not to
that to
be
feed. I mean,
racist,
this is
but
just so evil. I mean, these trees are medicinal trees, sacred trees, plants, trees, that we use them all the time. We use rapé, and that comes from the sacred trees, from the bark of sacred trees. So there are trees that can cure you, can help you, it's like you cut them down and you don't have medicines. You have a stupid field of soybeans.
yeah,
It's just so dumb. And it's like, for me, that makes me so angry, and you don't have air. I mean, less air to be produced, less medicine just for such a dumb cause. That's really has to change.
yeah.
Because
It's a broken system, and how we change it is talking about it. And so people have a lot of power. I think a lot of people are really hopeless because they think it's a problem that's out of their hands. The government's corrupt. We can't do anything about it. But actually, people have a lot of power if we come together and we use our voice and we
yes, and we
decide
speak.
what we want and we speak up.
Exactly, exactly.
And
That's how
so,
you push back tyranny of any kind, whether it's a medical tyranny or whatever. It's like corporate tyranny. It's like you don't speak up. It's like they have as much power as much as you are giving away. That's it. That's their power. They're
yeah,
not all powerful. Our silence is their power. You
yeah,
don't fight back. You don't speak out. You get destroyed. That's how it works. When you push back, they push back. I mean, you have to create resistance if you want to get anything in life. If
yeah.
not, they will take over. That's it. And it's no different when it comes to Amazon forest or any other project. This is where, you have to wake up that spirit of the warrior and fight back for the good cause. That's what the medicine can help you with. That's what we do here. We focus on that, on empowering people, and kind of bringing people from darkness to light in every sense, personal and collective, and fighting for the protection of nature. I mean, what else do we fight for? I mean, of course, we fight for your children and for your freedom. That's number one. But
your family, yeah,
of
community.
course,
But it's our
community.
planet. I agree with
It's the
you.
whole
And
planet, exactly.
it's like we're
It's the same
sleeping.
air.
We're distracted. We've been distracted and hypnotized by social media. It's like we just want to
Exactly.
numb out and scroll, and that is a huge weapon being used against us because we're not aware of what's happening in the world. It's like that Leonardo DiCaprio movie, Don't Look Up, and everyone, the comment is coming, and everyone is just like, oh, that's actually happening right now. That is happening right now with the
All the
deforestation
time.
of the Amazon, with the oil companies still continuing to drill. That is happening, and it's going to be devastating for people if we don't wake the fuck up. Like, excuse my French, but that is what needs to happen, and we need to start to speak out, and we need to do everything we can to protect the Amazon, because like you said, it has answers to questions we haven't even asked yet as a human species, and we will need the Amazon. We will need the medicines. Tearing down a football field of rainforest, that's like tearing down an entire universe. The biodiversity involved in just a foot of rainforest. There's so many different systems, so many different plants. The soil is so ancient. You can't just tear that down and replant it. It's not the same. It takes thousands and thousands of years for that biodiversity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's an ecosystem. It's a living ecosystem. It's exactly the same. That's when the Avatar movie came out. It was amazing. It was one of the best movies. It's exactly right. It's like what you see in the movie is what happens in the jungle. It's like there are sacred trees, and there are people who love them, and there are evil corporations that want to move them away for money. It's just purely made on real life events. This is not an imagination. It's just well done movie, like kind of
exactly.
But
that's
it's
how
a real
media.
thing.
Yeah, media can be really powerful in reaching people, and so I think that those movies are really well done, and I think it's just we need to just start speaking out and educating people on what's going on, but also that there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of people who are willing to put their lives on the line to protect what is right and what is important, and we just need to come together and start talking about this so we can organize, figure out what needs to be done. It's like I said, it's very simple. I went and I asked, what do you need? This is what they need. We provided it, done. No politics, no, raising money, and then I have to pay like this person and that person. It's like we're raising money, and then directly the money goes to what needs to happen quickly. And that's how we have to get things done right now. So
that's a really good movement. It's a movement, actually. It's a movement of preservation of the Amazon. It starts in Colombia, hopefully can be done in Peru. We have a lot of Amazon in Peru, so that has to be protected too. So
there's a lot we can do.
We can do a lot. It's about raising an awareness, letting people, just reaching people out with a good message and making them understand the importance of that. This is not some kind of game. This is not like eco kind of game. This is like a serious stuff. This is our life on Earth here.
This is existential for sure.
Exactly.
And I think it's a lot more than people can wrap their heads around. Like, they don't understand that this could quite possibly be the end of human civilization if we don't get our act together.
The trees. I mean, Bill Gates now wants to cut all the trees. Did you see that? He just want to, like, we're talking like millions of acres he want to buy and destroy, cut them down and bury them to fight climate change. I mean, this is the most stupid idea I have heard in my life. I mean, this is a pure diabolical, idiotic, moronic idea that can come to sick mind. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Imagine, it's an Amazon.
Sick people, and they're so disconnected from nature. They don't understand that we are part of it, and it is sacred. And so they think we own this, and we can just do whatever we want.
They think they own the planet.
Yeah,
They think they own
that's
the planet. They own the planet to themselves, by the way, so we don't matter, but we do matter. It's just a matter of awakening the human spirit in each person and just uniting. That's what it is, and that's where the power is in the unity. So
yeah.
what you're doing is great. It's amazing. Congratulations on your effort. Just
Thank
keep doing.
you.
If you ever
Yeah,
if you ever feel like expanding to Peru, got a lot of connections here.
for
We can do
sure.
that.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
thank you so much for what you're doing and, awakening people, giving them the opportunity and a safe space to really experience their soul and the soul of the planet and the soul of where they come from. It's really, really beautiful work. And I hope to come stay and visit and experience
absolutely.
what you do sometime soon. And yeah,
You're
we just got to
welcome.
keep going and stick together. And if anyone watching would like to help, go stay with Sergey and awaken, and then come see me and figure out how you can
Yeah.
help.
How people would find you if they want to help?
So you can go to my website, twoworldsoneplanet.org, and that's how you can donate and read about what we're doing. We haven't updated it in a bit, but it talks a lot about the Putumayo and our story there. Or you could find me personally on Instagram. My Instagram is Elizabeth Michelle 333, and that's Michelle with one L, Michele. Michel. Yeah,
I will put it.
not
Send me the
ELE.
links, and I will put it in
Yeah,
the
I'll
video
send it the link to
description.
you. But yeah, I think it's we're trying to fundraise quite a bit right now. So any donation helps. And like I said, that's going directly to help our project down in Putumayo with the biodiversity. So yeah, thank you so
Wonderful.
much.
Well, Elizabeth, thank you for coming. It was lovely talking to you and very inspirational
Thank
too.
you. Thank you so much. And you
So,
too. And yeah, let's keep talking. Let's keep the conversations going.
of course.
Okay, awesome. Well, have a great day.
Thank you.
And I'll talk to you soon.
All right.